Now, look, if you're a fan of mixed martial arts, boxing, combat sports in general, there's one thing that makes the stories most exciting, and that is a genuine rivalry. A rivalry that has a backstory where you understand it. Like, you know exactly why these guys feel the way that they do. And it's a simple enough story that everybody can get attached to, you know? And I assume that given the title of this video and, the context, you understand why I'm talking about this and not directly talking about Alex Pereira and Izzy yet. But Izzy has been saying a lot of things that, we've done videos here about it. And Alex Pereira has responded now. And he responded in absolutely perfect fashion. This guy is growing on me a lot, dude. Like, this guy's growing on me a lot. And I'll tell you another thing. Like, I'll tell you guys kind of what Alex Pereira said to Izzy. And I'll tell you why this is such a great rivalry. But then there's another thing that I want to talk about as it relates to Alex Pereira that I was thinking about today that's very, very notable. But before I get into it, like we always say at the beginning of the videos, if you consume my content, it costs, dude. It's not free, but it's free. The cost is you have to click subscribe. What? Click subscribe. That's the deal. You can consume as much of my content as you want. You just have to subscribe. That's it, dude. Click a button. Otherwise, you're stealing it. Okay? You're stealing it. But I appreciate it. And if you guys don't mind liking the video, commenting, that is extraordinarily helpful. Anyway, so here's the deal. So I thought that Izzy has handled this loss very well. Very well. Very well. I actually read a headline that Joe Rogan said he thought Izzy handled this loss better than any person who's like ever after losing their belt. I'm not jumping down a historical rabbit hole to try to compare, but I have, my opinion is that he's handled it very well, and when he says that the stoppage was early, you guys know my opinion on that. I agree. And so I don't think that there's anything wrong with him saying that, because I agree, I agree. And the thing is, like, just to go back to that concept before I tell you guys what Alex said, like, every single person's response to why it wasn't an early stoppage is because they say Alex was about to fill in the blank, right? Dude, he was done, man. Alex was about to knock him out. Okay. So are you sure? Well, yeah. No, you're not sure, dude. You're not sure. Okay. You're not sure about that. It looked like it was very likely. But the rule is the person intelligently defending themselves? And Izzy was definitely defending himself, And the second that it was over, Izzy was just standing there like, dude, he wasn't knocked out. He wasn't incapacitated. He was able to defend. Anyway, whatever. I don't want to go too deep down that rabbit hole. The last thing I'll say about that again was that Molly McCann was in a crucifix, helpless, getting punched in the head, and they were letting it continue because she was trying to hip bump and do the basically fish, do like what a fish does that's out of water. And if that's intelligently defending yourself and this isn't, then I don't understand. But anyway, so that's all a big preamble for I don't think that Izzy was making excuses when he said that the fight was stopped early, because Alex took issue with that, right? In his response, he takes issue with him saying that it was stopped early, but I don't Izzy wasn't making excuses. He really wasn't. He thinks it was stopped early. It doesn't mean that he even said that he was going to win if it wasn't stopped. Do you know what I mean? Like, I haven't heard Izzy say, if it wasn't stopped, I would have won. That's not the same thing as saying it was stopped early. Those are two different things, dude. Those are two different things. Like, that's an early stoppage. That's one thing. If he wouldn't have stopped it, I would have won. That is a completely different thing. And I've heard Izzy say the first one. I have not heard him say the second one. And that you got to take note of that before you read, what Alex said. So anyway, let me tell you what Alex said here. Okay, so Alex's response to him today was, Adesanya, stop making excuses saying that the referee stopped the fight early. You have to thank him for saving your life. The way you were with your head down, looking at the ground, I only needed one or two more hits to connect, a good knee to your face so we wouldn't know the outcome. This is, by the way, like translated from Portuguese. As I said at that point in the video, you were a great opponent and I respect you for that. Assume the mistake accept the mistake along with your team without taking away my merits. You will have one more chance. You're next. Okay, so obviously there's a little bit of weird translation there, but it's obvious what he's saying. He's saying, accept the defeat, take it like a man. I respect you. You're going to get another shot. We're going to get to run this back. So just shut the fuck up about the early stoppage. So honestly, there's something about that response. There's something about the way that he structured that makes me really respect him. Like really, really, genuinely, really respect him and really like him. Where he's like, do you understand how many times I've seen this movie? You know what I mean? Like, you have any idea how many times I've seen this movie? This right here. This is one of those things where, in lots of cases, like I can pose an opinion and people can be like, hey, dude, how many times did you fight in the octagon? I'd be like, none. And they're like, so shut the fuck up then. Be like, everybody gets an opinion, dude. But in this case, this is one of those things where it's like, oh, person in the UFC says blah, blah, blah. Jesse says blah, blah, blah. And it's like, hey, dude, you don't outrank me on this, okay? Because I'm telling you, the criteria for most educated opinion is how closely have you been watching this sport for the last 21 years? And fucking nobody's been watching it more closely than me. And I'm telling you, I've seen this movie a million times. Like, guy says, early stoppage, or guy says blah, blah, blah. His rival comes out and makes a statement and yada, yada. I've seen them all, dude. I've seen it every single time. And the tone of that response was amazing. Like, cause he's not talking shit, he's not talking shit at all. He's matter of fact being like, dude, accept the mistake, man. Like, accept it. Don't try to take away things from me. You made a mistake. You lost. You're going to get another chance. Just man up. We're going to run it back. You're next. I'm not taking another fight. We can do this again. Stop talking about early stoppages. Just accept the mistake and let's go. I don't know. Like, I realize that sounds very similar to how everybody usually responds, but there's always fluff in there. Like, there's that, and then there's fluff. There's shit talk in there. Like, that is a bone, a thin to the bone fucking statement, dude. Like, there's no fluff in there. It's just like, accept it, boom. Anyway, I respect it a lot. So I'm very excited. I think this is a great rivalry that is kind of, exposing itself here. And the fact that Pereira is 3-0 against Izzy, because it's Izzy, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, if Izzy had beat Alex 3 times, what the fuck are we talking about? You know what I mean? There's no rivalry there. But Alex has beat Izzy 3 times, and Izzy beats fucking everyone. And that's why it's really, really exciting. And then, like, and every time they fight, it's like Izzy's clearly winning the fight. Although when you look at the punch, the strike count, it was closer than I thought, dude. It was really closer than I thought. Pereira just really landed a lot more kicks to the leg than I realized. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. But Izzy was definitely winning the fight. And then he gets knocked out. And the fight before that, he was clearly winning the fight. And then he gets knocked out. And I don't know, man. It's like, it's just such a great fucking rivalry. But here's the other thing. So here's something I was talking about today. So we were talking about how ONE FC is on tonight, right? And Rod Tang is fighting. And that led me to, by the way, if you guys have never watched Rod Tang fight in Muay Thai, I know I said Michael Chandler's the most exciting UFC fighter, and he is. Rod Tang is the most exciting fighter ever. Honest to God. I think I can confidently say that. He is the most fun and exciting fighter to watch, period, ever. But so we were talking about that, and then so I was trying to think of like other MMA guys who have ever kind of been in the conversation. I was thinking about Vanderlei Silva from his Pride days. Like, this is, before a lot of people's time, but when in his dead prime in Pride, he was still not as exciting as Rod Tang. I went and watched back some of them. It's like, he's still not, it's actually not even close. But Vanderlei was a total fucking savage. But I went and watched his fight with Rampage, the second one, the rematch, which was in the dead center of his prime, like just, prime Vanderlei. And that fight's at 185 pounds, right? So I'm watching that fight and I'm thinking about how Vanderlei would match up with Alex Pereira, and Alex Pereira would fucking demolish Vanderlei. Like, that's what I realized. It's like, dude, people are kind of like, oh, Alex is dirt. Oh, a guy like Hamzat's going to run through it. Dude, literally, Hamzat's the only guy that I think runs through Alex. I think Alex fucks everyone else up, Because the idea that like it doesn't matter how superior his stand-up is ridiculous. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I mean, but when you watch like a guy like Vanderlei, who in his prime was the fucking axe murderer in Pride, just go watch that and imagine him fighting Pereira. Pereira fucking demolished him, dude. Demolished him. And I think that's very notable. I think if Pereira does get through Izzy and they don't put Khamzat in front of him, I think this is going to go a little bit longer than people think. I saw people saying that like it's just this stylistic matchup. I don't know, dude. I don't know about that. I really don't. I think Khamzat is the worst nightmare ever for him, and outside of him, I don't see a lot of people giving him much of a go, dude. Anyway, that's what I've got. So subscribe to the channel, ring the bell.